If you teach yoga or Pilates, you've probably heard students mention osteoporosis or osteopenia, or you've seen it listed on intake forms. But most teacher trainings don't explain what that actually means for movement, loading, or sequencing. Hi, I'm Heather, founder of OmBodies Yoga and creator of the Strong Bones Healthy Aging Method. I train yoga and Pilates teachers to confidently support aging bodies using functional movement, smart sequencing, and evidence-informed modification. And today, we're talking about osteoporosis in a way that actually makes sense for teachers, not just in a clinical or a textbook way. Osteoporosis literally means porous bone. Over time, bone becomes less dense and its internal structure becomes more fragile. Most people only think of this as bone loss, but the more accurate picture is a loss of both bone density and bone quality. This matters because bone isn't static. It's metabolically active. It responds to load, force, muscle contraction, and impact. So why does this matter for us as teachers? Well, the spine, hips, and wrists are the most common sites of osteoporotic fractures. In movement classes, that means we need to be thoughtful about how we approach things like spinal flexion, load distribution, balance challenges, transitions to and from the floor, impact, and long lever positioning. None of this means that students shouldn't move. In fact, movement is one of the best things that they can do. They just need the right type. Here are some statistics that I think every teacher should know. About 54 million Americans are affected by osteoporosis or osteopenia. Women are affected more than men due to hormonal changes that we go through. Most bone loss accelerates for women in the 5 to 7 years following menopause, and fracture risk increases with age, but osteoporosis can appear earlier. Translation for teachers: if you teach adults over 50, and especially women, you are already working with low bone density, whether you've been told or not. Bones are constantly being broken down and rebuilt. It's a two-part process. So we have these cells called osteoclasts. They break down the bone. Then we have osteoblasts, which rebuild the bone. In youth, rebuilding keeps up with the breakdown. In aging, breakdown outpaces the rebuilding. Hormones, especially estrogen, play a key regulatory role. That's why menopause is such an important trigger point. The good news? Bone responds to stimulus throughout a person's lifespan, which means it's never too late to influence bone health. This is where yoga and Pilates, they get interesting. For bone to remodel, it needs load, created by muscle contraction, impact, balance for fall prevention, strength, because muscle protects bone, and mobility. For bone to remodel, it needs load, impact, balance for fall prevention, strength, because muscle protects bone, and mobility to enable the accessing of functional range of motion. Gentle stretching alone does not address bone density. In fact, older adults often need more load, not less, but it needs to be delivered intelligently. There are a few things that movement professionals should be more cautious about for known osteoporosis, especially in the thoracic spine, such as repeated loaded spinal flexion, strong end range forward bending, long lever torque under load, and high-risk transitions without support. None of these are about fear, they're about physics. The goal isn't to make older adults fragile, it's to help them become more resilient. Teachers are in a beautiful position to support strength, balance, confidence, and functionality as people age. This is one of the most empowering parts of our profession, and most teacher trainings don't cover it at all. If you're a yoga or a Pilates teacher and you want to learn more about working with aging bodies, osteoporosis, and bone safe sequencing, join my email community. That's where I share deeper resources for teachers, upcoming trainings, and continuing education. The link is in the description, and I'd love to have you there. Thanks for watching, and thank you for being a teacher who cares about doing this well. I'll see you next time.